Hey, what's up, guys? It's Foster from English no Cru. So, just really fast before we get started today, I have two things I want to tell you about. First, Alexia is coming to the United States this week, technically next week. Obviously, I am super happy about this, and you should be too, because when Alexia and I are together physically, that just means that we will have a lot more podcasts. Everything will have higher quality, and just everything is better in general when Alexia is around. So while she is preparing for her trip, I decided to call one of my good friends to come on the show. Tony Marsh is the founder of langmatrix.com, and he is really one of the most interesting voices in the field of linguistics, and just the way he thinks about language is really, really cool. So I decided to bring Tony on the show to help me with some of our Ask Me Anything questions from Sound School. So for those of you who don't know, Sound School is our pronunciation and conversation masterclass, where Alexia and I work personally with all of our students. And it's really awesome. It's definitely the coolest thing we do. But anyway, we have a section in Sound School called Ask Me Anything, where our students can literally ask us any questions they have about English, pronunciation, travel, whatever. So if you want to participate in Sound School, if you're really serious about improving your English, you can start working personally with me and Alexia, starting for just 39 reais per month. That's like the cost of dinner at a restaurant, at least in Rio de Janeiro or São Paulo. Okay, so anyway, after a quick word from our sponsors, we'll get started with the show. Thanks, guys. This episode of English no Cru Rádio is brought to you by our friends at Cambly. Cambly is one of the coolest, if not the coolest, online platform to have real conversations with real professional native teachers whenever, wherever you want. Seriously, Cambly is an incredible service, and on top of that, they are just really, really great people, and our students are having a lot of fun and success with Cambly. And the best thing is, you can try Cambly today for free. Yes, 100% for free. No credit card information or anything like that. Simply go to cambly.com or download the Cambly app on your phone and use the promotional code Inglês no Cru Podcast to get your first class for free. Again, go to cambly.com or download the app and use the promo code Inglês no Cru Podcast to get your first class with a professional native speaker today. Okay, let's get on with the show. Cool. You got time to answer one or two more?
I do.
All right, let's do it. Let me think. Okay, this is a good one. Some version of this question is just people speak too fast. Even I have pretty advanced students that they definitely speak English well. When they're talking with me one-on-one in a classroom setting, no problems. And then they go out in the streets and they just get totally lost, or they watch a movie and they like their comprehension goes from 80% to 0.
Yeah.
What's your take on that and how to deal with that?
I have a radical take.
Good. Let's hear it.
Ready for this? The faster someone speaks, the more you should be able to understand them.
Okay. Explain yourself.
All right. Typically, the assumption is if you're speaking too fast, slow down, please. If that's how you feel, if that's how you're looking at it, then what your assumption is, most likely, is that in order to understand the other person, you need to be understanding every word.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're not, as a native listener, you're not listening for every word. As I'm speaking to you right now, you're not picking up every single word. You're predicting, you're skipping from point to point. and letting your mind naturally fill in the meaning, right? So as I'm speaking here, you're predicting what I say next. If I say such and such, you're sitting there thinking, you're automatically guessing what I'm going to say. You can feel it now.
Yeah, yeah.
If what you're doing, and this is what you're doing, is you're not listening for every single word. It's not slow. What was that word? What was that word? But rather listening for keywords. One in 10 words you really need. Let's pretend 1 in 10 words, right?
Okay.
I'd rather that person shoot 100 words at me as quick as possible, because that gives me 10 words, right? If I'm getting 1 out of 10 words, or if I only need 1 out of 10 words, then give me 100 words as quick as possible, because then I get 10 words. If you only speak 10 words, then I only get 1 word.
Right.
So the more total, you're to summarize, when you're listening effectively, you're listening for keywords. The faster the other person speaks, the more total keywords they're giving you.
Yeah. This is a really interesting take on it. I've never thought about it like this. So I'll fight back a little bit. So I think the one issue I take with this is I'm not necessarily sure that as speakers of our native language, that we are listening for keywords rather than just like contextual evidence.
Right.
And it's really just a compilation of sound systems combining together. So I don't know. I just tend to try to avoid telling my students, like, just listen to the word. And when you hear the word steak, you will know that they're talking about a restaurant or something.
Right.
Because, someone might pronounce that word differently, or given they could be saying like a high stakes poker match, which has nothing to do with the restaurant,
Yeah. I take your point completely, and I agree with it completely. So in fact, I think that you're agreeing with me too. Let me try to explain that. If someone says to me, okay, let's go to the extreme. Speak very slowly, please. And someone goes, okay, steak or steaks. Got it. I'm like, beef steak or like high steak poker. If they say, oh, steaks are delicious, I'm going to go, yeah, I agree. Or steaks are too high at this place.
Yeah.
The faster they spit it out, the faster I get the context. I mean, I agree with you that it's contextual. So why not let them keep bouncing? Why not let them give you as much chance as possible for you to establish the context? And I'm saying it's not like you get context better when they speak slowly. If anything, I think you get understand the context better when they speak more quickly, because they're giving you more of a sample to work with.
Yeah, absolutely. You're increasing the sample size. You have more information. Yeah.
Increasing the sample size. Exactly.
I totally agree with that. So then I think that might change the question a little bit, that when you have a large sample size and there's a lot of information and it's fast and you're getting nervous, the tendency is just to think like, shit, I can't follow it. How could people, I don't know, build their capacity to pick up on that context more quickly, or just to be able to adapt in that situation where someone's speaking really fast and you understood 1 word out of 10?
Yeah.
How do you follow up with that?
It's a shift in mentality, and it feels like it's it's a subconscious type of shift in mentality, and it happens when the person breaks through. Pretend you're the student and you're listening to me speak. I might be speaking slowly so that you can understand and you're like, okay, I'm following, I'm tracking. Once in a while, what I like to do, and I do this increasingly more and more to get people to have this breakthrough. The breakthrough happens, Foster, when you're my student. Pretend I've been speaking very carefully, and then all of a sudden I say, oh man, yeah. So last weekend, totally crazy story. What happened was I went to this, and then I went to there, and I went to there, and I was visiting my friends in Georgia. I was down in Georgia, and there was this big tornado. And all of a sudden, what happens is the person will go, and this can be done skillfully as the teacher. This can be done in such a way where you're kind of aiming for this to happen. Pretty soon, you'll say, I understood everything you said there. I mean, I didn't know every word, but I totally got that. Even though, and so it's this breakthrough where the person stops listening word for word and starts listening to the main point. And once you've had a taste of that, once you've broken through, then you can start opening it up more and more. And now the person is not concentrating on words, but concentrating on guessing the meaning.
Yeah, I see. You just articulated something I've felt for a long time. I never knew how to say it. So the other day, someone asked me about the healthcare system in the US, and I was like, "Ugh, all right, shit. Well, we have private insurance and we have this thing like we have deductibles. So I got to explain what that is. And I was just talking really fast, explaining stuff I don't know anything about. And they're like, all right, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. The system doesn't make any sense, but they
Right.
understood everything.
Right.
And it was like a super jumbled, incoherent, just rant that I just
Right.
gave.
And they just have to hang on for dear life.
Yeah.
But that skill of learning to and having experienced the feeling of hanging on for dear life, there's no other way to get to that point where you can do that other than living through that, other than having to go through that.
Yeah. That's just clocking in the time. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to another episode of Inglês no Cru Rádio. If you like what we do, if you want to support the show, here's what you can do. Leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Android, wherever you listen to the podcast. It really helps other people discover the show. And you can sign up for our VIP newsletter. So each time we release new courses, early discounts for Sound School, new worksheets, special discounts, the people on our newsletter are the first to know. So if you are interested in the things we are doing, go to inglesnuecru.com and sign up. And as always, keep up the good fight and lose well. Até já.